Hello and welcome guys to the third installment of the Trading Psychology and Mindset series. In the first two videos, we established the framework of the markets and how to view an individual trade. In the third installment, which is probably the most important one of all of them, we are going to discuss the habits, the three most important habits of any successful trader. If nothing else, these are the three things you want to focus on in good times and in bad, especially during the bad times, because these will be the only factors, only habits that bring you out of a funk. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's discuss the three core habits first, and then I will delve deeper into them. So starting next week, the three things you absolutely have to focus on and judge yourself on are these. First, do not take a trade until a setup meets all your entry parameters. Now, what's crucial in this is the entry parameters. The only way you can have this habit is if you have clearly defined entry parameters. If you enter a trade based on a feeling or random setups or someone said on something on Twitter, then it's not consistent and it's not something you can analyze or improve upon. As long as your entry parameters are variable and not consistent, you will not improve because there's nothing to improve upon. So you need to have clearly defined conditions that need to be met to enter a trade. And this will be important as we review our trades, because then you can change your entry parameters to become better. But if the entry parameters are vague, then you cannot review them and you will be stuck doing the same mistakes again and again throughout your life as a trader. So that's the first condition. Do not take a trade until a setup meets your entry parameters. The second one is, when a setup meets your entry parameters, do not second guess yourself. Just because your last 2 or 3 trades didn't work out, maybe you're having a bad day, whatever it is, right? If you have the slightest amount of doubt, that can wreck your trading. When the entry parameters are met, right? If the setup is exactly how you want it, enter without doubt, just do it, right? Risk such that one trade does not ruin you, so you don't have any fear in that way. So obviously risk right, but do not second guess yourself, do not doubt yourself. You have to take action when the pitch is there to be hit. One way to do this, and this is something I picked up from Trader Dante on Twitter. So most of these habits actually I picked up from Trader Dante a few years back, and they have been absolutely essential in changing my trading journey. So credit to him for making this so clear for me. One thing that he suggests, which is quite useful, is negative visualization. What does that mean? It means when you're entering a trade, imagine the trade going against you and your stop getting hit, giving you the loss, the maximum loss that you would on that trade based on your risk. If you're comfortable with that maximum loss, then you will have no reason to doubt yourself when entering a trade. The only way you will be comfortable with that max loss is if you risk correctly. If you're risking your entire account and you visualize losing the entire account, you would not take that trade. So doing this, like a small thing, will help you be at peace when you're taking the trade, because it will help you risk the correct amount. So this is something you can try, is before you enter the trade, imagine the trade hitting your stop loss and how much you would lose. And if you're comfortable losing that amount, then you will be able to take the trade in a calm manner, only focusing on the price action and not your P&L. So that's the second condition. When the entry parameters are met, take the trade with full confidence. Don't doubt yourself. The third and the most important one of these habits is the weekly review of your trading. And this one I will go deeper in this video because this will be the way you change your trading journey. So the weekly review has 3 core components and we are going to discuss them one by one. The first one will be the trade assessment. So you are going to check out all the trades of the week before and see what worked well and what didn't. How to do that, we'll go into the next video. The second step, next slide. The second step of the weekly review is self-assessment. In this portion, you will look for recurring patterns that appear in your trades. These are the patterns you will realize when you assess your trades. And then the third one is to find your blind spots in the market. You're going to study the biggest movers of the market that you had no idea about, that were not on your radar. Because what hurts people the most in their journey is the opportunity cost of missing out things that they had no idea about. It's not what you know that kills you. It's what you don't know is where you're missing out. So that would be the third aspect of the weekly review. So let's go through them one by one. Trade assessment. You are going to assess your trades, the ones that you took, on which ones worked well and which ones didn't. You want to think of this in 3 ways. Was there a setup that worked well or didn't? Was there a market that worked especially well, and was there a market that did not work well? And the third one is the time. Was there a day or a particular time that worked well for you? So these are the metrics on which you will assess your trades. How will you assess your trades is you will see if your timing for the entry and the exit was good. Did you enter too early or too late? Did you exit too early or too late? So that will be the timing assessment for your trades. The third one would be to the risk versus reward. Did you only take good risk versus reward trades or did you take bad ones? Bad ones would be something like risking $2 to make 50 cents. Unless your win rate is absolutely amazing, where you win 95% of the times, that's usually not a good proposition. Capital risk. When you took the trade, did you risk too much or too little? And the last one you have to assess is, did you take trades that were not part of your plan? So this will comprise of everything that you will use to assess your trades. And why this is important is because that's the foundation on which the self-assessment will take place. The self-assessment will take place in order to see if there are any recurring patterns in your trades. If there's something that consistently goes wrong or something that consistently goes right. For the things that consistently go right, you want to think about how to enforce those patterns, how to keep them going. For the ones that go wrong, you'll have to solve those problems, and the way you do that is by defining the problem, correctly defining the problem, right? Be as precise as you can be. Then find the cause of that problem. Why is that problem happening? And once you know the cause, then write down an actionable solution to that problem. It's like, this is what I will do to solve this problem, and do it. And this is how you will solve the negative patterns that are coming back in your trading. Do this process over time, and you will weed out most of the bad things and keep all the good ones, and you will have a quantifiable way to see your progress as a trader. The last one is study outside the box. Now, I didn't say think outside the box because the market is already telling you which were the biggest moves of the last week, right? So market is already telling you what you missed out on. What I want you to do is study those moves and see if there's a way you could participate in that so that you don't miss them out in the future. So this is the third component where you're removing your blind spot in the markets and expanding your horizons. Now, I know it sounds like a lot of work, and definitely is, but then again, this is what you have to come back to during good times and bad. I am personally guilty of having times where I didn't review my trades and I could see myself dropping in a funk. And the only way you can come out of that is by working hard, by assessing yourself. Over time, you will start to, over time, this is the only way to improve yourself. There's nothing else. There's no holy grail of system or something someone can say that will help you become a better trader. You have to keep assessing yourself, removing your weaknesses, putting work into your strengths, and that's the only way to upgrade yourself to be a good trader. Maybe even the best. So this video, I wanted to put it out so you guys can start assessing yourself over these metrics starting next week, right away. And the next challenge for us as a community is to be more self-aware of our strengths and weaknesses. All right, guys, time to get to work. Do your weekly reviews.